Welcome on back, dreamers and new folk. This is a special edition of Rapid Runs Dream Race Recap. The Dream Races are intended to showcase individuals' talents ranging from our musical opening act to racing, speedrunning, and even challenge runs of their respective games on display. The fourth event of Mad Rush March's Dream Races was Bonk's adventure Any Percent, featuring Princess 𝐂𝐍𝐓. Commentary for this run was done by Princess 𝐂𝐍𝐓 and Junkyard Dave. Let's see how it turned out.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so we're gonna start off here with a new strat that I recently started running. Oh, okay, there we go. So you get that flower right at the beginning, and then you try to bounce off these enemies here to damage boost through the level. I have to start off talking about it right away because it happens so fast here. So what happens is we try to, please come on, flower boost, be nice to me.
Of course, it's like that. Hey.
All right, there we go. First damage boost. Can we get the second one? We got the second one. Can we get the third damage boost? Oh, we missed it. All right, so ideally you damage boost across all of those gators to make it quickly out of the level. But to give some background on Bonk's adventure, so this is a game, obviously, for the TurboGrafx-16 that was released in the US in 1990. And it is about a caveman. He is from 10,000 BC, and he is trying to save the people of Moonland from evil King Droll. And right here, you'll see that we picked up the first, I think that's our first meat. Yeah, the first meat of the game. And you'll see we've become invincible. So kind of like star power, many people call it. Bonk eats meat, either one big meat or two little meats, and can just fly through enemies.
Has anybody ever tasked this game in the sense that they know per screen how much time you're losing if you don't eat the meat and you just go through? Because there's obviously like that weird little eating animation.
Yeah, so we're super lucky to have some great taskers for this game. We've got Memory Task that does that. Hold on one second. Hi, Sally Slug. You have to say hi to Sally. It's part of the run. But I'm not sure if it's down to that level. I haven't. I see those Sallys in chat. I haven't looked into it that closely, but I definitely know that we have some great taskers for this game. All right, then we got our first clip right there. So we just clipped through the wall in the dino belly, as we call it, and that clip was found by Uber Disco. So thanks, Uber, for finding it and then teaching me how to do it. And now we're actually trying some new strats here as well. You'll see this downward swimming motion to kind of help us swim a little bit faster. I just learned how to do that a few weeks ago. Actually, I'm super lucky that a lot of people in my community just helped me test out or come up with different strats. So we tested that one out. That's in the task, but I didn't know if you could actually do it in the run until a few weeks ago. All right, now we're up to the first boss. We've got 𝐂𝐍𝐍 here. 𝐂𝐍𝐍 obviously is, the first boss, easiest boss. And we call him 𝐂𝐍𝐍 because that is his name in the credits. Like at the end of this game, there is credits that tell you the names of all the bad guys. So oftentimes when I refer to people like Sally Slug or like 𝐂𝐍𝐍, that's their actual names in the credits of the game. So you'll see we just got smiley faces there. We don't try to pick up smiley faces. We're not too concerned with the health. I don't pay too close attention to health. Normally it works out. Hopefully that will be the case here. But the smiley faces right at the end after the boss fight do add back to your health meter. All right, so now we're on what I call blue dino level. These dinos' names are Gary Geek. They're pretty cute. And when you hit them, they dab.
I see that now. Can you imagine if every enemy died dabbing, how great this game would be more so?
I mean, it's already a great game, Junkyard Dave, but I agree. that it would be a much better game if everyone dabbed. Hold on. Okay, great.
Like the cactus is trying to dab. Like
the cactuses are dancing. They're having a great time. All right, meat, please. Thank you. All right, so we'll pick up that meat. There's a bunch of things here. If you're playing this game casually, there's some mini levels that you can play hidden within those little caves or boxes, whatever you want to call it. All right, now we get to what I call dragonflies are the worst. On this level, obviously you are trying to dodge these dragonflies as they try to knock you out of the air and cause you damage. All right, they weren't actually too mean to us this time, thank goodness. There's definitely a joke. Oh, don't get accidental meat. So obviously there's an animation, as Junkyard Dave pointed out earlier, that when you get a meat, you have to wait through that animation. Well, each of the meat pickups in the game is a strategic pickup. And as I mentioned, there's two. If you get 2 small meats or 1 large meat, you become invincible. But if you are already invincible and then you pick up an extra meat, it's just a waste of time. So we call those accidental meats. I say we. I call those accidental meats.
Like only you, nobody else. So chat's kind of talking about mini games. I've watched you run this a lot, actually, and I've never seen a mini game. How are they activated, or how does that work?
All right, yeah. So there is a run. There are a few runs where I've done an accidental mini game, and I did not like that. But mini games are basically activated. You have to know where they're hidden. Because I played this game so much as a kid, I thought where most of them were, but there are some hidden compartments that I didn't know of. But basically, you find that hidden compartment and you press the up button, and that will activate the mini game. And they've got some, oh gosh, okay, we actually want this meat. There we go. They've got some fun mini games. You jump between posts, spin between the air, that kind of stuff. I really enjoyed them as a kid. I mean, when I played this game as a kid, I was trying to rack up all the points. Very different than I play it now, trying to go as fast as possible.
Well, I guess on that note, how did you even begin speedrunning this? Because it's a pretty obscure game from a pretty obscure console. I know it came from your childhood, but how did you get into speedrunning?
You know, I don't think it's that obscure. No.
Well, maybe if it's the only game on the TurboGrafx, like, okay.
No, so many people come into chat and tell me the game's obscure, and I'm like, I don't know, y'all. I think it's perfectly normal. So basically, since it was the game that I played as a kid, I picked up speedrunning late last May, or early May, April timeframe, and I thought, I think I could play this game pretty fast, and so we gave it a try. That was first time really trying to speedrun anything. I had to learn so much about speedrunning itself. All right, made it through woods and flying frogs. Now we've got to climb this weird tree. So this level actually showcases something that's unique about the TurboGrafx-16. So for those that don't know, the TurboGrafx-16 has these turbo switches. So when I'm spinning through the air, I'm lucky that I don't have to mash because I just flip on a turbo switch that lets me spin. The other thing, there's 2 turbo switches on the TurboGrafx. The second turbo switch lets me use my teeth to climb things. So I'm able to quickly climb up these, what I call the weird tree, and make it through this level. Perfect. All right, next is cloud trees. You can see that I got really creative with the naming here. So on cloud trees, you want to jump on specific clouds to spin through the air. Just kind of routing. I guess for me, it doesn't really matter which cloud. You just want to make sure that you're bouncing between these clouds and not getting stuck. You're setting up for the next boss fight. you'll see that we grab the meats before the boss fights. And this is really important. Ooh, come on. This is important because whenever you go into a boss fight, as I call it slightly meated, when you still have some of the meat power up, you're not fully invincible, you're able to do more damage. So the bosses, you can effectively beat the bosses faster. And this is Gladys. Oh, we didn't get good timing going into Gladys. If you get good timing, you can kill Gladys in 3 or 4 hits. I've only done it in 4. I think I've seen Great John do it in 3. But overall, I'm really happy with that Gladys fight. That actually went really well.
Won your heart and mind.
Yes. Oh, all the Gladys is in chat. All right. Now we're getting on to stage 3. We're gonna play the red whale guys. And I don't think I mentioned this earlier. The flowers here that I use to spring off to launch me as the air, they actually only work every other frame. So each time is basically you're getting lucky if it brings you through the air, but the backward spring motion saves you a lot of time. So that's definitely worth. You kind of have to decide when you're going to give up on the flower boost if they don't spring you kind of within a first few headbutts. Unfortunately, oftentimes I'm like, please, I just keep trying. I'm just like, spring me through the air. Please do what you're supposed to do. Now we're using these red whale guys to kind of spin through the level. If you balance them right, you don't ever touch the ground there. And we have another meat pickup. Perfect.
So you said, excuse me, you said earlier that you generally try to avoid those little smiley things. They add health at the end of the level?
Yes, so
sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, if you collected a bunch or you collected whatever, how much time does that actually waste in relation to how many that you pick up during the level?
That's a great question. Okay, so we just did a bone skip. Sorry, I'm like... The bone skip basically just saved us 2 levels, so we didn't have to play 2 water levels, which is a big deal.
Nice.
As a kid, I only got that every once in a while. And when I first started running the game, I was 50-50. Now I'm pretty consistent. I feel like we miss it once in 100 runs, so I'm glad we were able to pull that off. As far as the smileys adding time, I don't know exactly how much time they add. So it's not necessarily that I'm actively avoiding them, like I'm too afraid that they add time. I'm just not going to go out of my way to get them. All right, a meat pickup here.
Is there any intentional either damage boosts or death abuse specifically?
Oh, shoot. Need this one. There is some, obviously, so I don't do any intentional deaths. The death animation takes a long time and it wastes time, but there is a lot of intentional damage boosts or hitting bad guys in the right way. Actually, right then, how I went into what I call skill-evator. I try to hit that guy so that the timing is right. Okay, let's hope we can pull this off. Oh, we missed it. That's supposed to be a 1 cycle there. We missed it by 1 or 2 hits. There we go. So the timing is really tight there, and you want the meat to, kind of like we talked about earlier, you want that meat power up. You have a very small window to get to Zilla in time to get the 1 cycle. Have you seen Princess Za?
He just runs off, no answer. Bonk ain't confirming nothing. It's kind of funny. Does Bonk actually say anything? I think he just runs off every time, right?
He just runs off. Now we're on. Oh, go ahead.
I don't know, I was gonna say it's kind of a weird world where apparently humans were the last ones, sorry, to evolve and have speech. All these dinosaurs and like creepy monsters. They figured it out before Bonk, apparently.
Yes. I mean, these monsters are great monsters. We're coming up on Punchy Pedro. Oh, I don't normally do that there. All right, let's juggle some pterodactyls. This level in particular can add roughly 20 seconds to my run if it goes right or wrong. So we try to juggle these pterodactyls here so you can stay spinning through the air. Sometimes they cooperate, sometimes they don't. And then we have to farm for meat. So that's the next step here. That was pretty good for the pterodactyls. I'm pretty happy with that. And we actually pick up a bonus heart. So there's 2 additional hearts that you can pick up throughout the game. We intentionally pick up this one over the other one. Just quick drop right here. You could definitely make it through the run without picking up that additional heart, but it's more about saving time on not dying, right? Because when you have 4 hearts and you get a big heart, come on, nope. You can stay alive longer. No meats. So you go this down route on this part so that you can farm for meat, so that we could potentially get 2 small meats to go and fight Punchy Pedro. But now, so basically if you get the meats, you can beat Punchy Pedro in 5 hits. Now it's going to take us closer to 11 or 12. Ooh, and of course we were close to death. Wake up. You'll see Punchy, oh shoot. You'll see Punchy making that big punch motion, that like pulled back and super powered punch. If Punchy Pedro hits you like that, it takes out quite a few hearts of damage. So you want to avoid that for sure.
Some of their dialogue is just like straight up.
Yeah. I really like Punchy Pedro's Converse. Punchy Pedro might be, I don't know. He's definitely one of my favorite character designs. We have T-Raptor Head coming up too, which is an awesome character design.
So were those pterodactyls in the previous stage RNG? And then I guess the follow-up question to that is how much RNG is in this game?
So there is, with the flower boost, I would say that's quite a bit. We use that a lot, so I would claim that as RNG. And then as far as like right just at the angry lava level right before we play Punchy Pedro, there's RNG in picking up those meats. So that's not consistent. But other than that, there's not too much going on. I'm sure there's a few things that I'm missing for sure, but those are kind of some of the big ones.
Is it known why the flowers are kind of like a 50-50 chance?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
That's just very curious. Like maybe it's intentional game design, or maybe it's not. You know, like you think if the game developers wanted you to like spring from the flowers, they would just make it 100%. But I don't know. That's interesting that it's like a 50-50 chance.
All right, and here's the part where we're going to do some intentional damage boosting. So we're going to try to bounce off these. Nope, instead I hit them. Come on, birds. Don't do that. If you damage boost properly here, you can kind of spin through this whole part to save yourself some time on stopping and picking and jumping back up and spinning through the air. All right, this bone jump. Oh, that jump is always tight. There we go. So we're coming up on the second skip here. We're gonna twirl. We're gonna hold down the twirl button and go to the right, and therefore we get to skip a whole water level, which is fantastic because this level takes forever.
Are the skips technically possible to do without the turbo?
I think technically you can do them without the turbo. You just have to do a lot of mashing. And why would you do that when you have the turbo buttons?
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I wish the NES had that for sure.
Then we've got the flying dino chess pieces here. So again, similar tactics throughout the game. We're trying to just go through the level by juggling the bad guys and not ever touching the ground.
So what would you... Nope, sorry. Go.
Next up is baby dino skeletons. They look cute, but they're kind of jerks. They spit out bubbles, and we try to use these lava rocks and use kind of specific hits to bounce off these dino skeletons to kind of go through this level a little bit more smoothly.
It's always the cute things that are jerks.
Oh shoot, there we go.
Bonk is a pretty graphic death animation, hey.
Yeah, they definitely on the... So there's also a Bonk's Revenge and a Bonk 3, and they definitely toned down the death animation in the next one.
That's funny. I mean, like, I could kind of see why. Like, he's struggling a lot there. So I was gonna ask, what would you say is the hardest part of this run and the hardest boss of this run?
Oh shoot, I definitely think, for me personally, GLaDOS is the hardest boss, the second boss. Just with that tight timing, just to get the timing right. It's like casually, actually, I think GLaDOS is our hard boss too. What was the other part of that question? Junkyard Dave.
The hardest part of the run. Like, where is like run killers, stuff like that?
This one, actually. This level right here. Perfect timing for that question. We are climbing up what we call moving blocks. Obviously, you see the blocks separate. This was one of the levels to get the world record that I really had to master, because it actually on my previous PB before we got the world record, I was like at an 18-second deficit on this. So this one can definitely easily go wrong. That was earlier. We were supposed to get a damage boost to help us climb up these things. All right, split the pterodactyls, which is great. Come on. All right. There's a great temptation to spin on this run, but if you land on your head on a block, you just lose so much time. But whenever you're falling, oh, like that. Whenever you're falling, you're just immediate reaction is to start spinning to try to save yourself. We were in the clear on that part though, because we weren't on the blocks anymore. All right. Now we're just gonna walk by all of the bosses again. Just kind of wave, say hello, see them, grayed out. So my PB on this game is a 27:51, and that is the world record.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I've basically played this game every night for like 9 months straight. That is only a slight exaggeration. So when I started speedrunning, I picked this game to speedrun because it's something I played a lot as a kid, and I didn't really understand all that it took to speedrun a game. So definitely learned that. All right. A quick waterfall level. Using the turbo switch to climb up the waterfall quickly instead of having to mash. Trying to avoid these fish. They're called funky fish. They can damage boost you forward, but they can also easily damage boost you back. So I just try to avoid them. All right, we are about to get to the Evil King Drool visit, and it is a little bright. So just letting everyone know there is going to be some bright lights just in a second. All right, hey, Evil King Drool. So this is the part that I didn't know about as a kid. There was a hidden compartment up here where you pick up a life, a heart, and a meat.
Very sneaky.
So sneaky. So now we have to do a perfect cloud bounce here. Yep, we got it. Great. And we try to land on our feet. We land on our head. So if we land on our feet here, we can actually make it to GLaDOS while we're still meated. So we can do a slightly faster kill on GLaDOS. I don't think we're going to get the timing on that here, but we will get to fight Huey while we're meated.
Meated is such a good term.
I don't know how else to describe it.
No, it makes me think of The Simpsons with that trucker red guy where they're like doing that eating contest with the meat and then he just dies.
Perfect. All right, here's GLaDOS. You'll see we just missed that first hit. We just transitioned back to regular Bonk, so we don't get to skip the animation. And what that means is instead of going back up to the ceiling 3 times, she actually goes up. Oh, pick the wrong GLaDOS. She goes back up to the ceiling one last time. Also, when I said pick the wrong GLaDOS, there's actually a strat to know which GLaDOS to hit, obviously, because there's 2 of them. You look for the GLaDOS that's in front whenever they separate. And so you got to pay a little close attention to which one's in front to be able to hit them properly. So this fight is against Zilla. And so the first time we saw Zilla, it just was a quick few hits to take him down. This fight's going to take us a little bit longer, and Zilla's hitboxes are kind of rough. Zilla can do pretty good damage here. All right. Almost. Actually going pretty well. Perfect. Oh, that was a great Zilla. All right, there's hidden things in the walls here. We're going to pick up a meat. There's also a hidden life on the very next one, but we don't need it. Oh, I say that now. We don't need it.
Are we on pace for that triple trifecta PB?
All right, Punchy. Okay, so that's how fast the Punchy Pedro fight should be with meat. So that was nice that we were able to do that one pretty quickly. All right, it's time. It's time to see Princess Za. So yes, my name does come from this game. And this is me. Princess Za doesn't fight. Instead, we fight T-Raptor Head, who basically has a combination of powers from the other bosses. Ideally, you'd like T-Raptor Head to stay on the ground. During this part, there's actually many times in runs where T-Raptor Head doesn't bounce around. But we didn't get lucky this time. All right, come on, T-Raptor Head, be nice. Thank you. Princess Za transforms, and then she talks a lot. Oh, all the Zas!
I like how T-Raptor Head was made out apparently of boxing gloves. Or powered by boxing gloves. Does that mean like official lore he ate that punchy dude?
No, he just has everyone's power. It's just a combination of everyone. We don't get to see all of T-Raptor Head's capabilities, but he can blow bubbles like Huey. He can throw stars like GLaDOS. All right, we're gonna pick up the heart right before the okay, it's about to be bright lights again, everybody. Right before the Evil King Drool fight. So we're going to the final boss right here.
Oh wow, that's a screen.
Yeah.
Like every single color flashed as fast as possible.
All right, and there is our buddy Evil King Drool. Again, bright lights. A little late on that one. All right, 1, 2, 3. There we go. So Evil King Drool has 2 forms. The first form is this outline form right here. We're using this. Oh, that was. You were supposed to go away, Evil King Drool. There we go. Perfect. and then we get the second form. We're actually going to damage boost off Evil King Drool's nose, and then manually bonk him as much as we can. You actually turn to the manual bonk because it's supposed to do more damage than the spin bonk. And maybe a few more times. There we go. And time.
GG.
Thank you.
Wowee! Make that look super easy. Just flying through the air there on like almost every part of every level.
Thank you.
Oh, that went really well.
Yeah, it's a new world record, Keaton. Yeah.
Not quite.
Oh,
not quite.
Okay. We didn't get 3 in a row. But folks, it's kind of tough when you have a world record runner going against their time. That's tough. Oh yeah, we got time to watch the credits. Especially for the simple fact that Princess Saw was able to start early for us. We definitely can watch the rest of this play out. What
good
else
thing
do people know about this game, or even what you do, Princess Saw?
Yeah, so I stream TurboGrafx-16 games, so this all started for me just running this game, but now we've kind of started running other games. So I also run what we call Murder Bonk, but other people know as Splatterhouse. And I've just also been exploring the TurboGrafx-16 library. I had 10 hue cards. They're called hue cards for your game, and so I had those hue cards growing up, so I actually never beat all of them. So we've been kind of playing through those and exploring different games. So just really a lot of TurboGrafx-16 content.
That's awesome, though. Do you have any upcoming events or specialty streams that you might be doing here in the near future?
Yes. So this Thursday, I'm really excited. We have someone that used to work for the TurboGrafx-16 hotline coming on and talking to us about working for the hotline 30 years ago.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was their first job in the gaming industry. Their name's JP Podolsky, and they have since gone on and had this great career in the gaming industry, but they were so kind to join us next Thursday at 9 p.m. Central to talk to us about what that hotline was like. And I think it's really interesting because you hear a lot about some of the other hotlines, and I didn't even know the TG16 had a hotline until we were reading a game manual on channel the other day, and I found the number, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Can we find someone that actually worked there? And you know what? My community is awesome, and they were able to find someone really quickly, and we were able to get them to come on come on and talk to us. So we're going to be talking about just the hotline, but also the TG16, the market at the time, and things like that.
How exciting, though. That's pretty crazy. Yes, you can. Thanks, Mondello. I mean, just because I always like when people take their niche and find other ways to, add other factors to it. So, for example, yes, you're going to play games. Yes, you're going to speedrun at a ridiculously good level, obviously being a world record runner. But at the same time, you're also bringing in some of these other fun, community-oriented things, such as, someone who worked on a hotline. I talk actually for a long time on talking about the Nintendo hotline when I used to speedrun Zelda Link's Awakening because there was a puzzle I could not solve. No one else was playing the game. Only my aunt was, and it was like I had to even call on her because she was long distance. It's like, okay, I get to call the hotline for once. Cool. Found out that thing. Every time I see it, I'll never forget I called that hotline. My parents made such a big deal about that. Yeah, I know it's pretty awesome. I didn't.
That's so funny.
Where that came from? If somebody's microphone just went buzzing. There we go. Whoever fixed that. That was perfect. Good fix. Good fix. Thank you.
I did nothing. I just sat here. I'm not sure what happened.
It's always safe.
Yeah, whatever happened, just hit it on me. Just quietly listening to you guys talk. You're gonna get attacked. Literally attacked.
It's definitely Dave. I'm sure he heard it right. He put the pressure on. He wanted not to see a PB. He wanted to see a new world record. Let me tell you. Darn Dave.
Wow.
Dave Gate AJC.
So Dave, if you need a few moments to prep, because I know you're about to be up, do you need any additional downtime?
No, because I will provide probably the worst train wreck that's ever been on this stream.
Okay,
so
cool.
It's okay.
I just wanted to make sure. I didn't know if you.
I don't believe that.
Dave does great. Dave does great. Even Dave's train wrecks are amazing little antiques you find in the junkyard. And we love it. We love it.
Spin Dr. Andrews. Holy moly.
What up? How are you doing? All right, but folks, seriously though, I know we have a community type of stuff. We do late night Thursday, so you'll have hours and hours and hours to definitely catch that special event at Princess 𝐄𝐻. Can we all thank Princess 𝐄𝐻 for being here, her community, for being super supportive of her in the chat, let alone hanging out with all of us today?
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And thanks, Junkyard Dave, for the commentary.
Hey, no problem.
No, that was
Thanks for
awesome. Thank
popping
you
by.
both very much. And like I said, check out Princess 𝐄𝐻 right there, either on that Twitter post, on the twitch.tv/princess_𝐄𝐻. Otherwise, we'll let her have the rest of her evening to herself. And once again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Did Dave just ask the world record holder to uphold our back-to-back-to-back personal best streak? Why, yes, he did. And that's why we love him. Found this exciting? Our next live event for the Dream Races will be Momentum Bound May on Tuesday, May 11th at 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Want to watch live? You can stream with us right away at twitch.tv/GeneralAndrews. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.